Hey everyone, Scott here to discuss Hotel Transylvania 2, featuring the voices of Adam Sandler, Andy Samberg, Selena Gomez, Kevin James, Steve Buscemi, David Spade, Keegan-Michael Key, Asher Blinkoff, Molly Shannon, and Mel Brooks, directed by Gennady Tartakovsky. Now, I remember seeing this in theaters thinking, this is not as good as the original, but should I still remain the same? Well, let's get into it. We open the movie with Mavis returning voice of Selena Gomez, and Jonathan's wedding, and Jonathan is returning voice of Andy Samberg, and their wedding was a good opening sequence 1 year later. Drac, returning voice of Adam Sandler, goes for a fly with Mavis, and she tells him she's pregnant. And I also like how months late go by and their son Dennis is born, and the years go by and Dennis is 5 years old 5 years later, and his first words are blah blah blah. And I love the way how Drax says, "I don't say blah blah blah." It was just so funny. I'm having fun with this movie already. The animation is what makes the kids love these movies. It's fun to watch this animation. I love Dennis's relationship with Winnie, aka Wayne and Wanda's daughter. Wayne, returning voice of Steve Buscemi, and Wanda, who was in the last movie but failed to bring her up, is voiced by Molly Shannon. I think their relationship is absolutely cute, and I mean Dennis and Winnie. Drac, Wayne, Frankenstein, returning voice of Kevin James. Griffin, returning voice of David Spade, and Murray, this time voiced by Keegan-Michael Key. Along with Blobby, who's a Jello, and I like him as a comic relief in the movie. In this movie, go on an adventure where Drac is teaching Dennis how to be a monster. For example, Frankenstein tries to scare a couple of joggers, but instead he's a celebrity, which was a funny moment. Wayne tries to eat a deer, which was funny. Meanwhile, Mavis and Jonathan go out of town of where Jonathan grew up, which was a great scene. And Mavis showing off her bicycle skills, and Murray breaks his back and makes a little sand. And Dennis and Frankenstein make up a sand snowman. Griffin gets his purple twist, which I can't say for a PG-rated movie vlog. And Drac goes to a campsite to make Dennis fly and gets his fangs. It was funny how Frankenstein gets burned and runs around acting like a maniac. Mavis wants to go back to Transylvania to find out if Drac is doing the wrong thing. And remember, Blobby, I failed to bring up, he flew off the ledge and he's back into the movie, giving the Drac Pack with Dennis a ride back to at the hotel. And Mavis is there when Drac arrives, and she's upset, and we see a remix, which I like the song, but I'm still having fun with this movie. When we have a birthday party for Dennis, who's turning 6 years old, we get Drac's father, Vlad, voiced by Mel Brooks, who's a classical actor from such movies as and his assistant, voiced by Bella, voiced by Rob Riggle, who I'm not the biggest fan of, but I'm glad Mel Brooks is here. Dennis and Winnie try to go to a hiding place, which is a treehouse, and Bella comes in to get them, and Drac with the other monsters fighting off against Bella and his other bats. And that ending was thrilling because Vlad has a change of heart and about the mixture of humans and vampires. That was a sweet way to end the movie. Now it's time for the rating. I'll give this movie a 7.3 out of 10. Not as good as its predecessor, but it's good animation, and I had fun with this movie, and the jokes were pretty clever, but I can't wait for more Mel Brooks in next week's movie, and let's hope it's as good and fun as the first 2 movies. So, I would like to thank you guys for joining me, and I will be back next week with Hotel Transylvania 3 Summer Vacation. And until next time, I don't say blah blah blah.